Before I had my bone marrow transplant, I tried looking up on YouTube different videos of people explaining their whole experience, and honestly I couldn't find too many. I did find a lot of 2-minute videos explaining small parts of a bone marrow transplant, but my goal today is to explain my whole experience and hopefully help somebody going through the same thing get through it a little bit easier and have a little bit more confidence going into it. So I want to start off by explaining what a transplant is. Usually when you hear the word transplant, you think a doctor taking out one of your organs and having somebody else's organ put into your body. And although your immune system is an organ, it's nothing like that. Think of receiving someone else's bone marrow as receiving somebody else's blood. It's pretty much the same, well, it is the same thing as a blood infusion or a platelet infusion, and I'm guessing if you're going through this, you've probably had one of those before. So it doesn't hurt. It's not a surgery. It's pretty much the same thing as receiving somebody else's blood. Now, donating bone marrow is like donating your blood at Red Cross. It just takes a little bit longer. They're taking the stem cells out of your blood, so they're just drawing your blood. It takes a little bit longer than when you go have your blood drawn for Red Cross, and you also have to have steroids after because of the amount that they take, but they come back and you'll be fine. It's not that big of a deal, and actually I think if people knew that, more people would donate their bone marrow. I'm gonna link under the video a link to Be the Match. That's where you can go to donate your bone marrow. All you do is send in a swab of your spit, and if you are a match with anybody, they will contact you. It's a great way to maybe even save someone's life. So if you want to do that, I'll put the link under the video. So I have this little thing. I just want to go over a couple things and not forget. So my sister is the first person they checked to see if I would be a match with her, because usually siblings are the closest thing you can get to a 100% match. Unfortunately for me, my sister wasn't a 100% match, so they had to search through the system, and I was actually very lucky, and they found a 100% match for me in Germany. So they send her stem cells over on a plane in a cooler, and that's how they got it to me. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen for everybody. Some people have to wait so long till they get a 100% match. That's why donating is very important. So, the reason that I had a bone marrow transplant is because I was diagnosed with B-cell type acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And the doctor told me that since I had cancer when I was little, this is my second time with cancer, that it probably will come back unless I had a stem cell transplant. So that's just one reason why somebody would get a stem cell transplant. There are a ton more, but that's mine. So I had to go in a week early for chemo. Before you get a stem cell transplant, the doctors want all your numbers, and by numbers I mean white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, ANC, all of your numbers to be pretty much at 0. They want to pretty much knock out all of your cells because you're going to be getting new cells. So that chemo was a little bit hard, but not too bad. My symptoms were I lost my eyebrows. Now I have to draw these babies on. I lost my eyelashes. They haven't grown back yet. And I already lost my hair, but that's finally growing back. So I lost my eyelashes, my eyelids. I had a very sore jaw, and that's just something that comes with the type of chemo that I had. And they gave me pain medicine for that. Let me see if I wrote anything else. But that's really the only symptoms I had from my chemo. I did get sick here and there, but nothing crazy. So after the chemo, when all of my numbers were almost at 0, that's when they do the bone marrow transplant, which was, they gave me 2 days of rest between my chemo and the bone marrow transplant. So my transplant, the blood cells came in a cooler into the room, and they hooked it up just like they would hook up blood when you're getting an infusion. It took about 2 hours, and it didn't hurt or anything. I didn't even feel it going in me. The doctors come in and check your blood pressure, your oxygen, your, what's the other thing they check? Blood pressure, oxygen. I'm losing it. I don't know. One other thing. So after my bone marrow transplant, I stayed in the hospital for about 30 days to recover, around a month. During that stay, yes, I was very tired. There was no way I could get up and walk half a mile. I couldn't really exercise. I tried to do squats, and I did 3 and was worn out. But I did stay very busy. I did crafts. I learned how to crochet. I saved all of the things I wanted to watch on Netflix until the transplant, so I would have something to do for that month. So definitely try to keep yourself as busy as you can. It keeps you positive, and just helps to stay, helps it be a little less boring. So like I said, the transplant took about 2 hours. There was nothing really bad with the transplant. Your doctor will tell you that you might get a little bit of graft versus host disease. That is when your donor cells fight against yours, and you can get rashes on your skin, you can get sick, you can get fevers, a lot of different things can happen. Fortunately for me, I didn't really have any graft versus host. I can still get that, and I can get that for the rest of my life. Say I get really bad sunburn, that can bring graft versus host, and they said that can happen forever. So that kind of stinks, but it's nothing to really, it's not going to ruin my day or anything. I'll wear sunscreen. But you can get graft versus host, and that's what your nurses are coming in to check. They always ask, do you have any skin rashes? They look inside your mouth. Always checking your blood pressure, your oxygen. They do that, I felt like every 30 minutes for the first week. That's the one thing I don't like about hospitals. I can't stand that people can just come in your room, and it just feels like you can't have any alone time. But it's just something that comes with this, and it's not that bad. So after your bone marrow transplant, your cells are very, very low. They wanted them to be at almost 0. Mine didn't get to 0, but they were low. They tell you have the immune system of a baby, and so it's a lot easier for you to get sick. You're neutropenic, which means that you don't have that many neutrophils. You pretty much can't fight infection. The doctors say it if you get a common cold that you could die. I got the coronavirus, which is pretty much like a common cold, and it took a long time to get rid of it. I just maybe 2 weeks ago stopped coughing, but I didn't die, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much if you would get sick in the hospital. They give you antivirus medicine, and they take care of you. It's not that bad, because they really scared me with that when they would say, like, you don't want to get sick, tell you different things to eat, always wash your hands, which you should be doing anyways. But one thing I did learn is that you are able to refuse things in the hospital. They are treating you just like they treat everybody else, no matter the age, weight. If you're going through the same type of the same treatment as anyone else that would be going through the bone marrow transplant. And the one nurse told me that they were giving me the same amount of liquid as they would give somebody that was 200 pounds, and that I could refuse that. But so I started refusing things. Now, I'm not telling you to refuse to not take your medicine. I'm saying that if you realize that they're giving you liquid 24/7 and you're becoming extremely bloated and you can hardly breathe, then tell them to stop, and that you don't want that much liquid, and they will. I've refused a couple things in the hospital because I knew that I didn't need them. I didn't need to take Zyrtec. There's things that they just do for everybody that you'll know if you need it or not. Do research. Now, things are out of the protocol that you can get that might help you. Like, I researched before I had the transplant about early menopause. You can get early onset menopause after a bone marrow transplant, but there is a shot called Luperon that you can get that can actually prevent you from getting early menopause after your transplant. It's actually birth control, but it puts your ovaries to sleep. So I asked the doctor if I could have that, and they said that they normally didn't do that, but if I wanted to, I could. So I did, and it actually worked out until now. So do research. You don't have to go by the protocol that they're using on everybody else. Now, I wanted to go over my Picc line. I had a line here and a line here. Those are what they injected the stem cells into, and the blood and the platelets if I needed platelets. Just lines sticking out of my arms. The line went inside my arm to here. Having that put in did not hurt, and having it taken out did not hurt. Nothing that you can't handle. If you can get a shot, you can have that done. And thankfully I had that because my veins are very hard to find, and usually they would have to poke me like 3 times just to get the veins. So I'm very grateful that I had that, and you will too, because they don't inject stem cells into using just the needle. You have to have a Picc line, but don't worry about that. It is not a big deal. Let me see. You become friends with all the nurses. All the nurses know your name. You have a different nurse every day usually, and I became very close to a couple of my nurses. They even gave me like a birthday present when it was my birthday in the hospital, which was really nice. After the month, I got to leave, and I actually had to go to a place called the Hope Lodge. Now, I live over an hour away from my hospital, and I think at every hospital it's the rule, if you live over an hour away, you need to stay closer, because you actually go in every single day to have your blood checked to see where your cells are at. The goal is for all of your stem cells to turn into the donor cells. So I stayed at the Hope Lodge, which was less than a mile away from the hospital. I went there every morning for 2 weeks, and eventually, after 2 weeks, they told me that I was able to go home on the weekends. And then after actually 1 weekend of going home, they released me, and now I only have to go up every other day. So it went by fast. I thought that was going to be horrible to be in Hershey for over a month. I thought it would be 2 months, and I just love being home, and it goes by fast. It's okay. You'll be okay. It's not as bad as you think. Trying to think of what, if I wanted to say anything else about that. Oh, okay, so as I said, I'm on day 55 after my transplant. The goal is to get to day 100. At day 100, you have a bone marrow biopsy. You actually have 3 bone marrow biopsies during your recovery. A bone marrow biopsy is, they actually stick like a hollow needle into your hip bone and take a little piece of your bone out, and then send that to the lab, and they check your cells on a molecular level to see if there are any cancer cells left, and to also see where your cells are at. Are they, what percent donor cells do you have, and what percent of your blood cells do you have? Now, it's day 55 for me, and I have 83% donor cells. The doctor told me I actually probably wouldn't get to 100% donor cells, but it would be okay. The doctor also told me that after day 100, I have to go through 3 more rounds of chemo. Each of those chemos will be a lumbar puncture, and I don't know if this is something that everyone has to have done, but a lumbar puncture is when they take chemo and they insert it into your spinal cord, and that is to prevent or to kill any cancer cells that would be in your spine or in your brain. Those aren't my favorite, but if I can get through it, anyone can get through it. It's not that it hurts. I had back surgery, and I don't like anything that has to do with my needles or my back. It's just not that fun for me to go through, but about the same as a bone marrow biopsy. The biggest thing that got me through this was to keep a positive attitude. If you keep a positive attitude, it goes by so much easier. You cannot sit and dwell all day. I have cancer. This is horrible. You can't be scared. I wasn't really scared at all about any of this. I wasn't scared I was gonna die. I never really worried about that. I worried more about the people around me and what they felt. I didn't want anyone to be sad about this because I knew and I know that I was going to get through this. Worrying does not make anything better. And I know everyone says that, but if I would have sat and worried all day about any of this, I would not be where I am today. This has made me a better person, and I'm here and nothing bad happened. If you think too much that something bad's gonna happen, I believe that something bad will happen. But if you know that you're gonna get through it and you know you're gonna be okay, you will be okay. If something bad does happen, there is a way to fix it. Just always know that there's a way to fix it. It's not the end of the world. And honestly, this whole cancer thing for me started on October 1st. It's March 21st right now, and I am almost done with it. And it went by so fast. This is not your life. You can get through it. Really keep a positive attitude. Keep people around you in a positive attitude. You can joke. You can make your life not about cancer. Honestly, some days I forget that I even have a bald head. I walk by like the shower stuff in like a grocery store or Target and think about getting shampoo and conditioner and then remember, oh, I'm bald, like I don't even need that. You can live your life. You don't have to let cancer take over. You really don't. So you can get through this. If you guys have any questions, I know I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff. It's hard to talk to a camera and remember everything. If you guys have any questions, just comment below and I'll try to answer all of them. Well, I will answer all of them. It's not like I'm gonna get a million comments, but I hope this helps somebody, and thank you for watching.